For many of us, there's been an idea that a romantic partner would complete us, that we'd find the love we want and feel at home, and it would all be okay, happily ever after. This video is about why 2.5 years ago I decided to stay single for a year, how that lasted for just under 2.5 years, and why it was beneficial. Many of us, there is this idea that someone else can complete me, and when I see that person, it'll be kind of doves will start flying and everything. Oh, and that is what's sold to us in Hollywood. I love rom-coms. Hang on, I'm not allowed to call them rom-coms anymore. Actually, I'm not allowed to call them chick flicks, but then I've never called them chick flicks. They're romantic comedies and I love them. There's this idea sold to us by Hollywood that if we just meet that perfect person, then we'll walk into the distance happily ever after. The problem with that is that I'm putting all of my power in the other person. Maybe power is the wrong word, but it's like all of my projected happiness. I'm like looking for someone to complete me. And now that's an impossible task for somebody. And that means that if I was to meet them, I would get lost, enmeshed. It's like happens so often. It's projection onto someone else that they're going to be this or that, and I'm going to feel woo, and when I don't, or it never works out so well. If I can just realize that although I said I was going to be alone for a year, just so I could work on my stuff, one of my therapists said, if this is a long time ago, any baggage that you carry that you don't sort in this relationship, you'll carry to the next one. And so I said, okay, I'm going to be single for a year. Turned out to be just under 2.5. And it was, being alone sucks. I hate being alone. It's but then as I have done it, I have become more comfortable with myself, more complete in myself. And that means that I'm comfortable where I am and I'm not looking for someone to complete me. That's nice. How have I done it? Well, I've been alone a lot. I've been traveling for 2 years, and although I have got to meet hundreds, if not thousands, of wonderful, amazing people wherever I go, I've had this feeling of I've had to leave them. You know that when I would leave the country or the place I was in, I have to leave the people. That brings up great sadness. And the more I've done it, and the more I realize that it triggers my early childhood stuff, that abandonment stuff, that it means that I can just find ask myself the reason. I'll tell this is a really difficult video to make. I sat here on the side of this mountain for 3 hours trying to make this video, just trying to work out what to put in it, because it's core stuff. It's 6-year-old stuff. It's that idea that it's abandonment. None of us wants to be abandoned. Nobody really wants to be alone. We're social creatures. Humans are social. Scapegoats have all of the sins of the tribe, all those bad stuff projected onto us, and then we get excommunicated, kicked out, said he's the, and that feels awful. Feels like you're going to die, and the scapegoat job is to die. But the more I've been alone, the more I've processed that stuff, and the more complete I feel. Now that's great, because actually I did have a relationship with a wonderful woman, and it was uh, the thing that really came up for me was just I still need to do some work on myself. It's like, and I remember shouting at the universe, it's like, seriously? I've done so much work on myself, but it's like, it was an amazing relationship. It was short, and it was amazing, and showed me what I need to work on, what I still need to work on. And it means, because a lot of this stuff, it's not just healing from past stuff, it's also about balancing out my energies. I was always much more of a, it's going to sound weird, feminine energy. But it's like, how am I going to put this? really uncomfortable to talk about on camera. Feminine energy. I was brought up. There was a lot of patriarchs around when I was a kid. Patriarchs, men and women who use anger and aggression and shaming in order to beat me into submission, into just like a copper bowl, beating me into a shape that's not me. My path has been in getting away from that and just reshaping myself into my original thing. It's like, but it's also learning to love myself. Because what happened is I had a much softer energy, more feminine. I get on extremely well with gay people. I have a lot of gay friends. We get on extremely well. A lot of people see me and they're like, they judge me and imagine that I'm not going to be like I am. My energy is not going to be soft. My energy is going to be very hard. So I'm good with the feminine side. What I've had to do also is complete the other side of it. Carl Jung said all of us have a masculine side and a feminine side, and we need to balance them out for completeness. The anima and the animus. The animus is the masculine. It's how I show up in the world in a kind of strong, energetic way. It's allowing people not to bulldoze me. It's allowing not allowing stuff that is harmful or aggressive or to happen to me, maybe sometimes other people, but not to use the same aggression that and shaming that was used on me. When I can balance out that, I mean, that's what they say Jesus was. He had balanced out he had the perfect balance of masculine and feminine. So he was nurturing yet assertive. And actually, my favorite story is when the fact that I'm talking about Jesus on camera is a miracle. A friend of mine recently said something, and I said, "Well," he said, I would have thought you'd been really comfortable about talking about all the spirituality stuff." And I said, "No, I had massive religious abuse growing up, and it's like, but my favorite. So I never wanted to say the word Jesus ever, but I like the story where he went into the synagogue and smashed stuff up because they were tax collecting. The government were tax collecting, and he smashed stuff up, and it's like, huh. I think what I'm trying to say is the level at which I will change myself to be in a relationship is the level of work that shows me I need to do. If I'm going to mute myself to be with someone I think is perfect for me, then they're not perfect for me, and I need to ask myself, why would I mute myself? And it's because when I can turn up in a relationship, feel me, feel complete, so that there's three people, me, my partner, and the relationship as its own entity that I can contribute to. Now that's the reason that I do the work while I'm single. It's because I want a relationship that's balanced and joyous and harmonious, which is loving and considerate, and that we can work stuff out. And to do that, the more work I can do before I meet her, the better chance the relationship has got. Tough stuff, but it sounds good. If you have thoughts on this, put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Yeah. My name is Mark. This is The Emotional Alchemist. I help people find empowerment through physical health, emotional balance, spiritual connection, because I think we can heal our past, find empowerment in the present, and build a future that we all want to live in. That sounds awesome. Thanks for watching.